So then he said, I went out and Abu Jahl was addressing the leaders of Quraysh, and Abu Jahl said, Ya ma'ashara Quraysh, O leaders of Quraysh, who will kill Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for us? He's divided our tribes, he has insulted our idols, and whoever kills him will have 100 red camels from me and all the gold and silver that they can imagine. Now, why did Abu Jahl do this? Some of the context that we'll learn in the story is that this could have been because the Islam of Hamza radiallahu ta'ala anhu already had sort of started the new page in the seerah that really scared these leaders of Quraysh. Because Hamza radiallahu anhu becoming Muslim was a game changer already. And so now we really have to kill him. Because we're afraid at this point, if we don't, now that Hamza has embraced Islam, there's a new class of people that might embrace Islam. But in any case, we don't know that for sure. What we do know is that Umar radiallahu anhu said, you know what, ana laha, I'm going to do it. So he said to Abu Jahl, my uncle, I've got it. I'm going to go out and I'm going to kill the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He pulls out his sword and he starts to march towards the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's house. And they said that Umar radiallahu anhu is walking briskly. He's not even trying to hide his intentions. His sword is like out. You could see him angry. And he's saying as he is walking, Wayha Muhammadan ma ahdatha fina. Woe to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for what he has done to us, what he brought to us. Ta'udu Makkah ila ma kanat alayhi min qabl. I'm going to make sure Mecca goes back to the way it used to be, right? This is not about arrogance, ego for him. This is, I'm sick of this disruption in society. It's messing with my head now. It's messed with Mecca. It's time to end this fitna. That's how he's looking at it, right? I want to end this fitna in Mecca, this dissension in Mecca by just killing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and getting it over with. Okay? So he's walking, he's storming, and there's a young man by the name of Nu'aym ibn Abdullah, and Nu'aym ibn Abdullah is also from Banu Adi, and he's also a secret Muslim. So he's from Umar's tribe, and he's also secretly a Muslim. And he sees Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu walking that way, and he says, Ila ayn ibn al-Khattab, where are you going, O ibn al-Khattab? You don't have that sword out for a small reason. You're clearly determined to go do something. And Umar radiallahu anhu says, I'm going to go kill Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and bring Mecca back to the way that it used to be. So now Nu'aym is really concerned. He's trying to think of a diversion. So first he tries to reason with Umar radiallahu anhu. He says, but what about the nobility of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Isn't he a Sadiq al-Amin, a truthful one, a trustworthy one, who always did good for his people? He's not a bad man, right? Shouldn't we consider his character and the person that he is? And then Nu'aym, he says to him, and if that does not get you, you've lost your mind, Ya Umar, if you think that Banu Abdi Manaf, meaning the tribe of the Prophet ﷺ, is going to let you walk after you kill the Prophet ﷺ. At the end of the day, tribalism will come into play here. That's what brought Hamza out initially in the first place, right? That Banu Makhzum, Abu Jahl, insulted the Prophet ﷺ. It was tribalism at first. So he said, you think Banu Abdi Manaf is going to let you get away with killing Muhammad ﷺ? So Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu was looking at him, and Umar is smart. And he says, could it be that you too have apostated? And when he's saying Saba, you've apostated, meaning from our ways, Mecca, Quraysh, right? And Nu'aym says, of course not. No. It's not that. Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he points his sword towards him. And he says, لو أعلم ذلك لبدأت بك. He said, if I find out that you really are one of them, I'm actually going to kill you before I go kill him. And that's where Nu'aym says, أفلا أدلك على العجب يا عمر? You want me to tell you something really amazing, O Umar? Now he's desperate. I'm trying to get him away from the Prophet ﷺ. He says, قد دخل عليك هذا الأمر في بيتك. You think I'm the problem? You're worried about me becoming Muslim? This affair has already reached your home. Umar radiallahu anhu says, who? From my house? Who? Nu'aym says to him, your sister Fatima and your brother-in-law Sa'id, they've become Muslim and they follow Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his religion. So before you take care of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why don't you take care of your own family first? What's Nu'aym trying to do? He's trying to buy time to go run to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and hide the Prophet ﷺ away from Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And in the process, he knows that Umar is a proud man. The only thing that's going to stop him is your own family, right? You're a hypocrite. You want to go handle the Prophet ﷺ. What about your own family? So Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu turns around and he rushes to the house of Fatima bint al-Khattab, Sa'id ibn Zayd. Nu'aym goes running to the Prophet ﷺ to tell the Prophet ﷺ what happened. Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu goes towards the house of Fatima, his sister. When he gets to the door, he can hear humming, the Quran being recited. So Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu bangs on the door. And who was teaching his sister and his brother-in-law Quran? Does anyone know? I told you some of the old biographies will connect. Khabbab ibn al-Arat radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Khabbab was there teaching Fatima and Sa'id the Quran. And he was the reciter in the house. Now Umar is Umar and Khabbab, come on. Who's going to protect Khabbab? Right? Khabbab belongs to the most persecuted class in Mecca. So if Umar finds Khabbab, he's going to tear him to pieces at this point. Up until now, by the way, unlike Abu Jahl, Umar has never killed anyone. He's beaten, he's spit, he's cursed, he's been abusive, but he hasn't been to the viciousness of Abu Jahl. But this is a different moment. He's ready to kill the Prophet ﷺ, so he's going to kill whoever's in front of him, right? So Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when he bangs on the door, Fatima, Sa'id, Khabbab become very worried. Khabbab goes and he hides in the house somewhere, and where Umar will not be able to find him. Fatima opens the door. Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu bursts in and he says, "What is it that I was hearing?" They said, "Nothing." He said, No, I was hearing something being recited. I was hearing a humming. What was I hearing? They said, "Nothing." And he said, "Is it true that you have apostated? Sabahti? You've apostated and you followed Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ya aduwwata nafsiha, enemy of yourself." So he's speaking to his sister very harshly. Is it true? And Fatima's kind of frozen. She doesn't know how to answer Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu because Umar was extremely full of rage at this point. And Sa'id ibn Zayd radiallahu ta'ala anhu steps forward and he says, "Ara'ayta ya Umar when kana al-haqqu fi ghayri dinik?" So what would you say, O Umar, if the truth was in other than your religion? When Umar heard that from Sa'id, he pounced on Sa'id radiallahu ta'ala anhu and he started to beat him and he started to abuse him, almost killing him. So he almost killed Sa'id ibn Zayd, subhanAllah, in these moments. Now, by the way, go back and watch the lecture on Sa'id ibn Zayd and you'll see the love and the respect that he had for him. But this is a moment. This is a different Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu in these moments. Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu was sitting on the chest of Sa'id ibn Zayd. Sa'id was panting for breath and he's punching him, blow after blow after blow after blow. And Fatima tries to control Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu and stop him. And when she does that, he moves his hand backwards and he smacks her on the face and pushes her back, which caused her to start bleeding down her face and she starts to cry and she becomes obviously very emotional. And when that happens, Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he looks at her and she says, "Ya ibn al-Khattab, ma kunta sani'an fasna' faqad aslamtu." "Oh Ibn Khattab, do what you want to us, I became Muslim."